Hello, thank you for joining me. So I've had three separate things happen to me over the last few weeks that, whilst they're totally unrelated, have made me reflect on the same topic. So the first incident, I was at a formal meal and I was sat next to somebody who I didn't know, and their phone kept going off quite loudly at inappropriate times. And I felt a bit awkward. I thought other people might think it was my phone. I thought, poor me, I'm being judged. Yet when there was a chance for us to chat, he apologised and told us that he was diabetic and the phone was sounding an alarm as he was going into a hypo. So I went from being slightly annoyed to being thoroughly concerned for his well-being, and in the process felt like a horrible person. The second incident happened when I was driving through a narrowish road and a van that had been coming towards me pulled right in front of me and mounted the curb, seemingly to park. He did this so badly that he blocked the traffic in both directions. There was lots of people beeping their horns and honking, and my immediate reaction was that he was a delivery driver on a timer who didn't care about the small inconvenience he was maybe causing me and others. However, I then watched him get out the cab, look at his front wheel, which I then saw had been totally blown. He was on the rim of his wheel and he had no tyre at all. So I immediately felt really sorry for him, as he was in a pretty stuck position and he was just getting aggression from everybody around him. The third incident happened today when I was stood up for a Teams meeting. I waited in the virtual room in case they were running late, and then I eventually gave up. And I know it happens. If I'm honest, I've missed meetings by mistake myself, but it's still annoying when it happens to you. Now, not much later, I got an email apologising and saying that they didn't have my phone number and that their wife had been in a head-on car accident, so they'd had to go and recover her. Now, apparently she's okay. But again, I very quickly shifted my view from being mildly annoyed to complete concern and sympathy. Luckily, everybody was okay, so none of these three things are world-shaking events. However, each of them served as a metaphorical slap in my face. Each of them reminded me that if we practice empathy, if we shift our focus from our perspective to theirs, if we accept that we don't know their motivation or their circumstances, rather than just react to it, then life can actually be much happier and a less stressful place to be. I've referenced Brené Brown's talk on empathy before, and she discusses 4 steps to show empathy. So the first one being perspective taking, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. The second, staying out of judgment, as my 3 recent examples highlight, not easy. And part of staying out of judgment is actually really listening. Third, recognizing emotion in another person that you have maybe felt before. And then fourth, communicating that you recognize that emotion. Empathy is a choice. We just need to slow down and practice it more, as my 3 examples hopefully show. We love working with teams and with leaders on the shadow they create, on how they impact the people around them. And we love helping them be more positive with that impact. Thanks very much.